So I have twin boys, and they have bunk beds. Brooks has the bottom bunk, he has an outlet, and he has a nightlight. Whit has the top bunk, no nightlight. So I told him I'd make him a nightlight, and I'd make anything he wanted. And he chose a fire truck. The idea here is that there's going to be a 2-foot by 2-foot base. That base will have some spacers on it. We'll wrap some LED lights around those spacers, and then we'll have a fire truck cut out that's going to sit on top of those spacers. The LED lights will shine around the fire truck and through the lights that we're going to cut out and add some transparencies to make colored flashing lights. What you've seen so far is me cutting a bunch of 1x4s to the same size, gluing them up, and then clamping them all together. This will form that 2-foot by 2-foot base. Here I'm setting up a stop block so I can cut the spacers all the same size. I've had this miter saw for like a decade, and this is the first time I've ever used this. It's kind of amazing what you can learn on YouTube. I set the table saw at 1.5 inches and ripped down some pieces for the trim that's going to go around the outside of the base. Then I went over to the miter saw, angle cut all the 45-degree cuts, and we're good to go. And we're finally running all the base pieces through the planer. If you want to hit the easy button and save yourself a bunch of time, instead of gluing a bunch of boards together and trying to worry about planing them, it'd be a lot easier to just buy yourself a 2-foot by 2-foot sheet of plywood. Mental note for next time. Drilled a hole right through the middle. Nobody's going to see this because the truck's going to be in the way, but this is where the power cord's going to go. And it was at this point I decided that maybe I should have a couple support pieces in the back of this thing. I didn't entirely trust the glue up. I'm sure it was fine, but whatever. Again, maybe just buy a piece of plywood. Can't have a fire truck without a little fire, right? I decided that I was going to actually burn the trim pieces to darken them up a bit. I've never done this before. I've seen it done on Instagram and YouTube, but I wanted these trim pieces to actually have a different look and be a little bit darker than the base, but I wanted to use the same stain. So I torched them. When my grandfather passed away, I ended up with this bandsaw. This is another one of those tools that I had laying around for 5 years and never actually used. And I didn't entirely know what I was doing. And there went the blade. But this actually gave me the opportunity to take the thing apart, actually watch some videos and learn how to reassemble it. And then I got to work. I did as much as I could on the bandsaw, and then I got the jigsaw out. I apologize for the shaky camera work. I've learned my lesson. Don't set up your camera on the same table that you're working with a jigsaw on. But basically, this was a whole bunch of clamping, unclamping, reclamping, and cutting just to get the fire truck outline done. I had already drawn in pencil where all the lights were supposed to go. took the drill, made all the holes, and then it was a matter of getting the jigsaw back out, clamping, unclamping, reclamping, cutting. You get the picture. This was a last-minute decision, but I decided that it would look kind of cool to have a brick look to the back for this thing, so I decided to paint in some grout lines and make it really look like brick. Then came the stain. Does that look purple to you? After priming the fire truck, I redrew everything back on in pencil, and then I got to painting. Here you see me just lining up the spacers so I know they go in the right spot and don't actually cover up any of the fire truck lights. Also just trying to figure out the best spots for these, since the LED string lights are going to wrap around these and then shine out from behind the truck. I finally decided the grout lines made this look way more purple, so I repainted them. I only feel about 1,000,000 times better about this. I found that when you're shooting for a comic book or a cartoon feel, a black outline really makes things pop. And using a Sharpie is just way easier than hand painting this on with a brush. Add some semi-gloss polyurethane, and it really pops. I got some colored transparency sheets off of Amazon. I basically just lined them up where I want them to go, cut them out into squares, and then superglued them right onto the back. Go over things with some steel wool, and then wipe it off with a wet microfiber cloth. I got some copper string lights from Amazon. I think they cost about 13 bucks or so. I've never used these things before, but they came with a remote and they're plug-in. Both things I'm looking for wit. These things have a dimmer, so you can have them at 100%, 50%, 25%. Turns out these also have multiple flashing options with the remote. Kind of an added bonus for the fire truck. Since I don't know if these things are actually going to last, I just duct taped one end to the middle where it wouldn't be seen, and then I just started wrapping around. Once I got all the way around, I used one more piece of duct tape. The whole idea here is that the fire truck's going to be removable. If these things ever go bad, I'll be able to easily replace them. don't want a permanent fixture here. I could have just glued this thing on, but then my fear was, if the lights go bad, I wouldn't be able to get the truck off without tearing it apart. So I opted for some Velcro strips. These things hold really well. Plus we have the added bonus, if we decide we ever want to do a different fire truck someday, we could make a new one and just swap this one out. And look at her glow. So Whit's got his fire truck nightlight, flashers and all. Let's see if he approves.
Hey, Whit. Watch this.
I don't want to move.
Turn it on.
I want to move.
Button. Oh, there's flash. Alright, let's see. There we go. Right.
See, it's flashing.
Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.